May 18th, here at Barclays Center. It can be seen on Showtime Championship Boxing. It will be the 34th boxing show here at Barclays Center, the 5th heavyweight title fight here at Barclays. And of those 34 fights, 19 of those have been aired on Showtime Championship Boxing. No one is as invested in this venue in putting on top-level fights than Showtime. And this world title fight features the man who's got the most dangerous right hand in boxing. He's the person who will unapologetically tell you he's the baddest man on the planet. He's unbeaten. He's the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. He's the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder, who will be making his 9th title defense against his mandatory challenger. His moniker is Trouble. Got that name for a reason. Dominic Breazeale, 20-1. 18 of those victories have come by knockout. Barclays Center has become like a second home for Breazeale. This will be his 3rd straight fight at this venue, and he's knocked out his last 3 opponents. And when it comes to a fight of this magnitude, there's only one network, undisputed leader, when it comes to producing championship-level broadcasts, and that's Showtime Championship Boxing. The president, GM of events and sports programming is Stephen Espinosa. Stephen.
Thank you, Brian. We are thrilled to be bringing you Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Breazeale on Showtime. It would be an understatement to say that there's been a lot of speculation regarding Deontay's future, and we are proud to have him back on Showtime. And one of the main reasons that this fight is back on Showtime is Deontay Wilder. It was critical to Deontay, for the sport, for his fans, for the entire world, that this fight be available, not on pay-per-view, but on Showtime, without the high price tag. And because of that, because of his insistence, that is the primary reason we are standing here today announcing a non-pay-per-view fight on Showtime. And on Showtime is where this fight belongs. We are the home of premium boxing, the best talent, the biggest fights, the most consistent slate of high-quality boxing, month in, month out, the biggest fights. And this is where a World Heavyweight Championship fight belongs, here on Showtime, not on a streaming platform with a limited audience and limited viewership. This will be Deontay's 12th appearance on Showtime and Showtime pay-per-view. We've been together a long time, and we've built something special. Recently, ESPN named its World Fame 100, the most talked about, most famous athletes in the world. Based on Google searches, social media following, endorsements, Deontay's ranked number 34 in the world. That's 2 slots behind Tom Brady, and that's higher than any other boxer active in the sport today. He is a bona fide superstar, there is no question. Before we talk a little bit about this fight, a brief comment about how we got here today. You know, some things that maybe Deontay won't say, but I will say for him. You know, it seems that over the last few months, everyone thinks they know what's best for Deontay. He should take this deal, he shouldn't take that deal. But there's really only one person in the entire world who has all the info, knows all the factors, knows all the consideration, who's in a position to make that decision. That's Deontay. And what people fail to appreciate, what they fail to take into account, is that Deontay knows what he wants and what's important to him. And one thing that he values very highly is independence. He's not beholden to anyone. He doesn't answer to anyone, not to a promoter, not to a network, no one. He is an entrepreneur. He bets on himself like all the great champions have. Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, they all bet on themselves. They all took control of their careers in an independent way. they took risks, and they had great financial success, great professional success because of that. And of course, with that comes criticism. When Floyd bought out his contract from Top Rank for $750,000, people thought he was crazy. When Mikey Garcia sat on the sidelines for 2.5 years to get his independence, people thought he was crazy. And there are people out there who think that Deontay is crazy, and he's got his critics. But the reality is, he's in charge of his career. He has demonstrated loyalty, but not the kind of loyalty that some of you think. There's not a choice between loyalty and financial success. Showtime would never expect loyalty at the expense of long-term financial success. So the reality is, he's made a decision that demonstrates his loyalty, and a decision which guarantees financial success for a long, long time. And he's not avoiding the big fights. Deontay isn't the one who walked away from the Tyson Fury rematch. He isn't the one who walked away from the Tyson Fury purse bid. He isn't the one imposing conditions on big fights. Can you guys imagine for a moment if Deontay said, anybody who fights me has to sign for 3 or 4 fights with Showtime and PBC? All of you would murder him for that. And yet, those are the conditions that are being imposed for him. So to the extent that he has decided that he is his own man, retaining his independence, he's going to retain control. That is something to be respected, admired, and celebrated, not criticized. I'm not going to go into detail, but rest assured that Deontay has made a choice that demonstrates both loyalty and will be financially lucrative for a long, long time. And regardless of what others may want to believe, Showtime has plenty of money. We're not going anywhere. We have been the home of the best boxing for quite some time. We've been the leader in the sport, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to remain at the head of the class for a long, long time to come. In the words of Mark Twain, to paraphrase, rumors of our demise have been greatly exaggerated. So that brings us to where we are today. The heavyweight championship is back on Showtime with Dominic Breazeale. Big, strong, experienced, powerful, and above all, motivated. It's no secret that there is a personal rivalry between the two of them. This is not going to be, I predict, the kind of friendly promotion that we saw in the Fury fight. There's genuine animosity here. These guys are professionals, but there is also an emotional rivalry, which you will see very quickly. This is a premium fight. It is a high-quality fight. This is the heavyweight championship on Showtime at Barclays Center, May 18th. Thank you.
Before I introduce the fighters, you hear a word from them. We introduce their corners. Start with the challenger. He's being trained by a man who's trained a number of champions. He used to train pound for pound, the greatest fighter that was in the sport at one time, former trainer of the year. His Rolodex endless. Andre Bergo, Amir Khan, Andre Ward, just to name a few. Virgil Hunter. Ladies and gentlemen.
It's a pleasure to be back at the Barclays Center for such an event as the Heavyweight Championship of the World. It'll be my first time at this level in the heavyweight division. And certainly, there's a monumental task to try to overcome. Dominic and I, we connected last month. After talking and after a few workouts and trials, we saw that we had a good fit and we had a great understanding of what needed to be done and what was lying up ahead. He works hard, he's very determined, and he knows that this is his opportunity and he can't let it get a chance to slip away from him, but he also knows the risks that are at hand. So saying that, I'm glad to be here, glad to be on Dominic Breazeale's team, and looking forward to May 18th.
Thank you very much. Be remiss, didn't introduce one of Deontay Wilder's managers, a guy who's been in his corner for a very long time, Mr. Shelley Finkel, and he will make some comments to you. He said certainly will be available to you once we're done. But in the corner of the champion, he's got a man who was one of the most accomplished U.S. amateurs, won the gold medal in 1984, went on to become a two-time world champion, had one of the baddest jabs in the sport. Mark Breazeale. See you, Mark. And of course, the man who spotted this powerful pugilist, he's been with him ever since he walked into his gym in Alabama to work with him, JD's. I acknowledge him as well. Now, let me introduce the fighters. We'll start with the challenger. This man has been waiting for this opportunity for over a year and a half. In his 21 fights, he's gone the distance just twice in his career. This will be his third straight fight at Barclays Center here in the BK. He's known as Trouble, Mr. Dominic Breazeale.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out here. Brian, thank you for the introduction. Stephen, thank you for having me as well. Showtime. Guys, I'm super excited, man. As Brian just said, I've been waiting over a year and a half now to get a shot at this title. I'm excited to be back in the Barclays Center. I've got 3 knockouts. One, it's one of those situations that I bring in addition to the team with Virgil. I'm a great fighter, but there's always things to be learned. We've learned a lot in the last little bit that we've been together. At the same time, I bring something to the fight game that everybody wants to see in heavyweight, and that's the excitement of Trouble. I'm going to bring pressure. I'm going to do something that everybody wants to be seen. I'm one of those guys that's sick of seeing this bum walk around with his belt. I'm going to put him on his ass. Everybody's going to be sitting in their seat. They'll be rising up when I knock them down, and they're going to stay on their feet.
Thank you, Dominic. And now, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Unbeaten in 41 fights. 39 come by knockout. It's a 95% knockout ratio. He has had more consecutive, successful title defenses than 87% of the 92 fighters who've been called heavyweight champion of the world. Only 2 men have gone the distance with him. Berman Stavern, and we saw what happened to him in the rematch. And Tyson Fury, who got dropped twice in their fight. This will be his 4th fight here at Barclays Center. His 3 other opponents here at Barclays knocked out in highlight reel fashion. He's known as the Bronze Bomber. He's the heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be back here at Brooklyn, back at the Barclays Center. You know how dear to my heart that this place holds for me. I've been here for so many times. As Brian has said, I'm labeled as the Bronx Bomber, but here in Brooklyn they call me the Bronx Bomber. And it brings some connection here. I had some of my most memorable knockouts, my most memorable times here, right here in this arena. And I'm looking forward to being here again, fighting my mandatory. It's always a great opportunity. It's always a great thing to get the mandatories out of the way, because I consider the mandatories like flies. They always buzzing in your ear, especially when you're trying to do something for the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division has been so lit, and it's been so exciting, that it's the times where we need to see one champion, one face, one name. With that being said, it comes a mighty task to getting that complete. You need some cooperation with a lot of people to make that happen. And one thing about me, I want to fight the best. I've been trying to prove to the world what I've been saying. You know, this ain't being arrogant. This is not being cocky. This is what I believe in my heart. This is what I believe in my heart. And nobody can take that away from me. I feel that way. I believe that. And until somebody proves that wrong, then I'm going to continue to believe that. So here we are again, another man, the next man in line. I can't wait. I can't wait for this one. I ain't felt this way since the Breazeale fight. But this is even more intensified in the Breazeale fight. I don't mean nothing but, man, I love this sport. But this is the only sport where payback is a motherfucker. And pain is the name of the game in this sport. And we all know who does that the best. It's me. And it's me. I get paid to do it. So I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm not gonna speak negativity up on that. I'm just gonna show. Because the way I'm feeling right now, right? The fight can be this week. I'm ready. I'm always ready. As a champ, you must stay ready because you have contenders, you have mandatory, you have guys that's ready. I don't know how he's been prepared. I don't know what his mindset is. I hope he's in a great place. I hope he's training, you know, his damn hardest. I'm glad he got Breazeale on his side. Maybe he can show him a little something different. Maybe not to get knocked out. Maybe that's impossible to do. Every man I face, they land on the canvas. And I'm gonna continue to do that. Because I have a special remnant of sauce to do that. There's no man that's gonna get in the ring and gonna be able to defeat Deontay Wilder. I bring the excitement in the heavyweight division. I hold all the keys in the heavyweight division. I am the man in the heavyweight division. And I say this with all due respect. I say this very proudly. I say this with very much so confidence. I am the man. I'm the puzzle pieces. I hold all the keys here. I bring the excitement. Ain't no other fighter doing what I'm doing. Knocking guys out. That's what you pay your money for. You know, it's good to see 12-round fights with skill and some will, but nobody really wants to sit in their seat for 12 rounds. You want to see somebody's brain get knocked out of their head, and I'm literally trying to do that. I'm trying to give you something that you ain't never seen before. And if you're trying to see that, then you better bring some glasses if you don't like guts and blood spilled all over the place. Because I'm trying to make it a PG-13 up in this place. I can't wait. This is the moment, this is the time, and this is the right fight for me. Of course, he's a mandatory, and you know, we've seen many things, and like I said, everybody wants what they want. People want to see the big fight. And I don't have to say what's the big fight is. Everybody wants to see it. We understand that. But there's certain things that we have to do. He's a mandatory. I can't go around it. He got the opportunity, and here it is. So we can only take one fight, one step at a time. And enjoy it. Enjoy this. Enjoy it. Because it's going to be a massacre. I can't wait. May 18th is going to be a beautiful day for me. It's going to be a beautiful day for you guys as well, too. To get an insight of what our mindset is and what we're trying to go with the thing and what we will do with the sport of boxing. I'm looking forward to it all. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Bomb Squad! Just watching me beg, you asked the champ on ready. And I respected that. Now you calling and saying you ready, you better be a man of your words, you better be by that. You better be blind. You better be more than ready, Dominic. You better be more than ready, sir. Listen to me again, you better be more than ready for me. Because I am the best. I can feel you right now. I can feel your heart right now. I feel you right now. I can feel your heartbeat, bro. All right, that's enough. And it should be that way. Because you ain't never seen death in his face. You ain't never seen the struggle. In person, in face. Now you do. And you're going to understand why I speak the way I speak. Why the things I say. You're going to understand where I came from. You're going to feel every bit of me. I promise you that. This is not a game. This is where you've been introduced in the heavyweight division, Dominic. It starts with me, and I'm going to prove it to you. Well, I promise you that. Because that's the scheme that you tried to pull, it ain't going to fly. I'm going to show you street style. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. What kind of fighter sue another one? I promise. I promise. I promise. Watch this shit. Watch. I can't wait for it. He wanted it from Malik. You wanted it? You got it. And I'm going to give it to him. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. We don't need no sidekicks, baby. In the ring, it's me and you. You ain't got to worry about on the outside, bro. You don't have to worry about on the outside because in the ring, it's me and you. That's what you got to understand. You don't worry about the outside. You don't have to worry about the outside attention, all right? Because when I get there, I don't care what they're going to do. That man ain't going to be able to teach you nothing in a couple of months. For me, I wish you luck. I wish you luck. Because this is a different fight. I don't give a fuck who you get. What training? You can get 4 trainers like Fury did. It ain't gonna help you. It's not gonna help you. You can train for me half a year like Fury did. You can get 2 warms up and fight. You can get 2 warms up and 3 training camps and still see what happens. I'm special, bro. I'm just special like that. My mama said I was known a long time ago. I didn't understand it. Now I know my position. What I place. I know who I am, what I stand for, what I represent. To the day. Wait. I can't wait. That's why I'm in this sport right here. We can bring the pain, nigga.